The Haunted Mansion. Welcome to my review of the 2023 version of The Haunted Mansion. It's your boy Movie Hero here. I don't have the costume to actually be the Hatbox Ghost or anything like that, but I still wanted to talk about the movie because I went and saw it last week. I did a double feature, Thursday night, opening night, and I saw that with Talk to Me, which there's a review up on our channel right now. Go check it out. Me and Ross Bristow did a review together, and then I went and saw the Haunted Mansion. So the Haunted Mansion. I got some information here. It is from Disney, obviously, and if you can't tell, also behind me, I'm here at the ride. This is what the ride looks like. Let me go that way. You can see the horse and buggy carriage thing. But the ride is awesome. The ride is one of my favorite rides at Disney. It didn't used to be, but I went to Disney World last year, and they have really upped their game on that Haunted Mansion ride because I remember going back in the 90s and going on the Haunted Mansion ride at uh, Disneyland, and not that impressive to me. I guess kind of like a little like car on a track that goes through a house and a haunted looking house. There's the mirrors where you can see yourself sitting next to a ghost. You see the ballroom of them dancing, but that's really all I remember. I don't remember all. I remember it being kind of cheeseball, like if you ask me. But um, what they're doing now is crazy. They got the music booming loud. They got sound effects. They got ghosts. It looks like things are floating all around you. You're in that pitch total darkness, and then there's only certain things that are lit up to uh, for when they want things to be lit up. You still see the mirrors with the ghosts. You still see the ballroom, but you see all kinds of spirits and like creatures and monsters and the sound effects are way better. The visuals way better. So yeah, go on that ride. That ride's awesome. And let's get into the movie. It is The Haunted Mansion was released on July 28th, 2023, so just a few days ago from when I'm doing this review. The runtime 2 hours and 5 minutes long. I feel like they probably could have cut 15 to 20 minutes out of this movie. I found myself getting a little bored around like the 3/4 mark of the movie. Like oh, this is going a little long. When are they going to get through this part? So I did find myself doing that. I did like this movie. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be mostly positive, not all positive, but mostly. And the Haunted Mansion, and it's called Haunted Mansion and not the Haunted Mansion. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can find out right here. I got the logo right there, Disney's Haunted Mansion, not the Haunted Mansion. So I got it right. um, but yeah, it's directed by Justin Simeon, which the only thing that I recognize from him that he's done before is Dear White People. I think it was a movie that I know it was on Netflix, but I think it came out in theaters for a bit. So that he did that. The Haunted Mansion was originally planned to be written by Guillermo del Toro in 2010, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because Del Toro definitely does creatures really well. But one of the key things that I love about this is this looks like it's ripped right from the ride. The creatures, the house, the like costumes, just like the look and feel of it. And I'll get into it more in a little bit. But it's written by Kate Dippold, who also she wrote the movie The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. I almost want to say Jenny McCarthy. That'd be a totally different movie. Melissa McCarthy, and she's written some episodes of Parks and Recreation. She helped write the 2016 Ghostbusters. Wah, wah, I mean, and she wrote the movie Snatched. She helped do some revisions to the movie Spy, another Melissa McCarthy movie. But I didn't know any of this going in. I'm trying to like maybe watch one trailer for uh sorry, I'm getting pop-ups on my screen. Every time I get a notification, I need to turn off notification on my computer. Um, but yeah, The movie had a box office of $24 million worldwide, but at a $200 million budget. So like Disney and probably a lot of other studios also, but Disney for sure. What do you do with your budgets? Like, we need to have a conversation, me and you, and you need to have this conversation with a lot of people because, like, how much money are you losing? Are you just hemorrhaging money like hand over fist? No wonder it costs an arm and a leg to go to Disney World. No wonder, like you're losing millions and millions every year. I don't think the companies. I mean, I can't imagine that the companies made money this year or last year, and it's sad. Like, why do you need to have a $200 million budget? Like, why? Like, it's not necessary. It's not. You can make probably even like just as good of a movie, if not even better, if it's done right, for like half the budget. Honestly, like I don't get why you need that kind of budget. But these studios, a lot of them think they need it. But go watch Talk to Me, that had like a $4.5 million budget and only made like $10 million, but that's a profit for them. That is a straight up profit for them. So uh, when you lost a lot of money anyways, on them, like, we need to go back to like medium style budgets or even low budget movies where they're just good writing and good acting and good like everything, like in the movie, like you can do it. But anyways, the so Haunted Mansion has a critic score of 42%, an audience score of 86%, which I did the little thing, the little, which I call shenanigan uh, from Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know why they have this, but you can switch back and forth between the critics and the audience score. And, or no, sorry. When you click on critics or audience score, you can switch back between verified audiences and all audiences. And the verified audiences, the reviews are always weird. They're these one sentence reviews or like really short. They look like they're written by people who can't speak proper English, by people. I don't know, like maybe it's bots, maybe it's the studio that sent people out to do these weird reviews. I don't know, but you got to click on all audiences, and instead of 86, you get a 79. So it's a little lower, not a lot lower. It's still fresh from the audiences, not fresh from the critics. It's rotten, um, but in this movie, they're redoing the Haunted Mansion for the third time. So they had a 2003 one with Eddie Murphy that everyone that's pretty like well known, and then they had a Muppets Haunted Mansion movie, which I had no idea. Which I'm kind of curious to go check it out and see if it's any good. But the movie is set, and don't mind me. I started doing these green screen backgrounds, so I got a green screen behind me. If I turned it off, you'd see, and lighting to make them look good. And so if you see me going like this, it's because I'm looking around my ring light setup that I have. So don't mind that. But and I'm actually probably gonna X out the lighting soon because I don't know if it's necessary. Uh, but the synopsis is and I had to dig deep for like a decent synopsis. I got this from the Roger Ebert website actually, so I'll give credit to them. But set in New Orleans, single mother Gabby, played by Rosario Dawson, has moved into the antique house of her dreams with her 9-year-old son Travis, played by child actor Chase Dillon. But not long after stepping into the home, they become blatantly aware of the spirited tenants occupying the creepy abode. Enlisting the help of grieving astrophysicist Ben, played by Lakeith Stanfield, priest Father Kent, played by Owen Wilson, medium Harriet, played by Tiffany Haddish, and haunted house expert Professor Bruce Davis. Danny DeVito is kind of a historian of sorts. The gang hopes to put their heads together to rid the house of its supernatural tormentors. So that's a little more detailed than like a one sentence review if you Google it, what the synopsis is. But the movie's rated PG-13, but it's definitely more on the PG side. This movie's it's geared towards families and kids. So if you have young kids, I think they'll have a great time. There are some things for adults to enjoy, so I think it's a movie that families can go to together. If you're looking for something scary, if you're looking for something like more like adult theme, you're not going to find it here. It's just very like it basically what you would get from the ride at Disney. If you went on there, nothing scarier than what's on the Haunted Mansion ride. It's exactly like the characters and creatures and ghosts from that ride. Like exactly, they look exactly like that. They're like the look and feel is exactly like that. Whereas the Eddie Murphy one back in the day, like I don't know what they're trying to do. They're in a haunted house, but it didn't have much to do with the ride. I don't know, but this one really does. They get that aspect right. So well, that's pretty cool. I mean, this is a good movie. Like I would say, it's even great, but it just doesn't. It's not quite like the most incredible movie that it could be, and I'll talk a little more about that. But the movie has a very like Sanderson sisters Hocus Pocus vibe that it actually makes the movie fun. I mean, despite what the critics say, this movie is fun. It is. It is. I mean, you have to be okay with a little cheese ball to it, but that's fine. And I kind of mentioned most of the cast. I'm just looking to see if there's anyone else. Jamie Lee Curtis is also there playing Madame Leota, which is like this. Which I wish I would have brought a picture of uh, Madame Leota up, but well, I do have one of sorts because in the movie she's trapped in a crystal ball, and that's when it looks really cool. This giant crystal ball that's like bigger than my head, but you can kind of see her here. So here's a little picture. So you got Madame Leota in the middle because she eventually does come out of that, and before I get too far, I should have thrown the non spoiler. I'm still in non spoiler territory, so let's throw it up. Sorry, sometimes I forget to do it, but with the non spoiler, I am, and I need to go in the settings to do something really quick. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Let me see if that changes anything. Okay, watch what happens when I put this. Nope, it's not going to change anything. Maybe I have to do it before, but normally instead of replacing my name, you can shift the videos up. So I probably won't do that for the rest of this video, but that's okay. Not a big deal. But anyways, let's see. Oh, Brian, what's up? Hey, just caught you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out late night with me. How many times did Owen Wilson say "wow" in the film? I don't know if he said it. He might have said it once, but I wasn't paying that much attention. Where does Haunted Mansion rank in your 23 rankings? I haven't officially put it there yet, but it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. Like it's not gonna be at the top. It won't be at the bottom either. It'll be somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I'll get to it. But yeah, getting back to that picture. So you have Madame Leota played by Jamie Lee Curtis in the middle there. Over on the left, Rosario Dawson, who kind of plays the straight character to everyone else's antics. Like everyone else has the like goofy, funny, interesting things going on. Then you have Owen Wilson's character being, and let me actually make sure that I get it. So Rosario Dawson plays Gabby, and you have Owen Wilson playing Father Kent, which is a bit of a spoiler about his character that I'll get into when I get to spoiler parts. Nothing yet, but then you have Danny DeVito, and he plays the professor. They don't really give him a name, but he's from Tulane University. He's a historian from Tulane University. Then you have the child actor, which his name is, I gotta actually look it up here. His name's Chase Dillon. So in the movie they call him Travis. So and then you have Tiffany Haddish there, and Tiffany Haddish plays a medium, and she is her name's Harriet in the movie. And then you have Lakeith Stanfield, of course, he plays Ben Matthias, and then you have some other auxiliary characters. It's always fun seeing Hassan Minaj pop up. He's in the trailer when they go to that sketch artist, and they're like uh, describing what the ghost looked like, and he's like, "You just drew that," and like in about 1 minute or less or whatever, and they're all surprised that's in the trailer. You have apparently Dan Levy and Winona Ryder as like actor and actresses in some part of it, but I don't know. Like you blink and you miss them because I don't remember seeing that at all. I almost kind of remember Dan Levy actually. Now that I think I remember going, oh, that's Dan Levy. That's cool. They're actors, and the actors, but it's I can't even remember where they pop up in this thing. And then Jared Leto playing the Hatbox Ghost, which I wish I would have gotten a picture of the Hatbox Ghost, but it's the main villain from the Haunted Mansion ride. And I kind of don't know why you needed Jared Leto in there because uh, it's like a totally different voice from him, and it's also like doesn't look anything like him, so you wouldn't know Jared Leto is in this movie unless you looked it up. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much that. Let me see. But yeah, basically, it's not really the writing that you come for. It's not like this movie doesn't have great writing, but it's like the like effects and the CGI is great. Like a lot of times people complain about movies being over CGI'd or having too much of it, but the CGI works really well. Like there's a scene where Lakeith Stanfield he first goes to the mansion, and Rosario Dawson's character like like well, she doesn't tell him not to enter, and that if you do enter, then you're going to be haunted, and the spirits are going to attach themselves to you. I mean, if you leave the mansion, you're going to be drawn back in. And afterwards, she regrets it, and she's like, "Oh wait, I should have told you. Like only come in here if you dare." And you know these are the consequences, but she doesn't really tell him that. So he goes in for a minute. He's a historian and he wants to take pictures. He's got his cool looking camera. He finds this really cool lens, this old style camera lens that's really cool. It almost looks like one of those old school lights from like a movie set or a stage production. But and he's using that. But then he leaves and he goes home, and one of the spirits follows him, and it's a really cool scene where it's like a mariner, a character, one of ghost that is like the sea captain, and you see him in his bedroom, and the water starts to come in, and the big sea captain comes in with the harpoon and is like screaming at him, and like looks pretty terrifying, and I mean for it like a Disney-esque one. I mean, might frighten some very young kids or something, but he looks really cool. I'll say that's a cool look to it. And then the water starts rushing in. Then he leaves to go somewhere, comes back home later on, opens the door, and there's just like waves and like when you see the like ocean, like think of oh no, I can't even think of the name of the movie, but The Perfect Storm. There you go. Think of The Perfect Storm, the way that the waves and stuff look like that. It looks like that in his house. So he's like, what the frick? And the water comes out, and he's all soaking wet. And so he knows he has to go back and figure out what the heck's going on. And he also his character does this. So Lakeith Stanfield is the standout of this movie. Like he does a great job. Like gives a great performance, and he plays a guy that has social anxiety, and you really feel for his character because in the movie he talks about how his wife died, and it's not a spoiler because it's just like the wife's never there. He just tells the story right at the beginning, and it's a story about how he thought he never treated her as well as he could have, and that maybe his wife didn't really know that he truly loved her. But yeah, I won't say more than that because we'll get into the spoiler part. But that's just kind of how it starts out, and then let's see. I mean, I do kind of wish they had more practical effects in the movie. I mean, some of the sets they have in the house are really cool looking. I actually have a picture, so you can see the ride here. You see the house. I'll move around so you can see that. But this is what it looks like in the actual movie. So I mean, it's pretty close. If you look closely, you got the same pillars, the same little kind of New Orleans style, like I don't know what you call it on the balconies and all that stuff. But yeah, that's just a close up in daytime of what the ride looks like. Says we'll have a different outcome if they waited for Halloween release. No question. Maybe so. Yeah. Shout out to Dennis tuning in. Yeah, probably. I mean, it probably would have made more money, but they didn't wait until Halloween. Yeah, that's actually kind of a missed opportunity right there. I don't know why they didn't do that, but yeah, let's see. But yeah, so let's talk about how this movie just feels ripped right from the ride. Like I freaking love the Haunted Mansion ride. Like I mentioned, um, yeah, the I mean, it has things like the hallways that expand and like never end. They have the beginning opening scene that if you've been on the ride, when the room starts to extend and like enlarge, kind of like that. It does that on also the Tower of Terror too. So it's kind of like a similar thing. There's stuff like that. They have the gargoyles throughout. They got hidden rooms all over the place. They actually find like this war room, kind of cool looking place in there. Um, they have like the ghosts in the portraits and pictures that move around. There's some really cool chase scenes. There's like a really fun one with Owen Wilson's character where they're like doing the whole wacky like from room to room to room, but it's done like in a really cool like sleek looking way. Uh, um, they have uh, yeah, like those are really like the main things. I mean, but oh, and then also too, there's things that are like really trippy. It looks like you're almost in an Inception movie where the whole the like staircases are moving and transforming, and like you can go from like one part of the mansion to another part. Like 1 minute, Owen Wilson's standing by Tiffany Haddish, and then the stairs move, and Tiffany Haddish is over here, Owen Wilson is over here, and then you got Rosario Dawson's character over in another part, and so uh, but they end up in like totally different rooms though, just because the house is like magical and shifting around. But yeah, and there's also a whole thing where the ghosts come out at midnight whenever the clock strikes 12. Then the ghosts come out, and so they're fine during the day, but to walk around freely and not have to worry about ghosts. But then once it hits midnight, that's when everything um, hits, and there's certain parts of the house that are more haunted than the other. They all eventually come together in this main room, and they have to sleep there because the ghosts, I guess, don't affect them in that room. But once they leave that one room, it's like a big open, like a living room kind of thing. Then the ghosts start to come out, and they have issues with them for sure. Um, but yeah, I guess I'll get into like some of the different ghosts and characters that you see. So let's throw up the spoiler part. So it's I mean some minor spoilers to start, but then it'll get into more like how the movie ends and all that stuff. So we'll say spoilers. I mean it's just minor. So if you want to continue, if you've seen the movie, definitely keep watching. Or if you don't care about spoilers, you can watch or otherwise see the movie first for sure. But yeah, so there's all kinds of so they basically have every kind of ghost that you see in the the actual ride. So you see, I already mentioned the Sea Mariner. I wanted to mention that in the non-spoiler because it's the first one you see at the beginning. Then you have the Phantom that like, plays the organ pipes. That's really cool. It's a huge, massive organ that he's playing. You have the hitchhiking ghosts. I already mentioned the portraits that keep changing, and they even have the same chairs where. And there's like part of the movie where the chairs move in such a way do you feel like you're actually like almost on the ride, and you see the mirrors where you can see your own reflection sitting next to ghosts, and so obviously you see the actors, uh, and then you see the singing bus outside as they come in, but they're only at nighttime. In the day, you don't see them, but they're out there. That's part of the ride. You see the ballroom dancing scene. You see the hooded executioner, the big like hooded guy that's in there. That's massive and like 8 feet tall or whatever. You see one that's called the Pudgy Gentleman Pickwick, which you got to watch closely, but you can see it on the ride, and you can also see it in the movie, it's a little like a pudgy kind of gentleman guy. That's in the ballroom scene. He's hanging from the chandeliers and kind of like spinning around and just so you'll see him swing from one to the other, that kind of thing. And then you also see some characters that if you go to I actually got to experience this last year because I went to Mickey's Not So Spooky Halloween Party, which was really cool. I would highly recommend. One of the coolest experiences, man. Like I gotta upload my footage. I haven't ever uploaded my footage of the parade. It's the best Disney parade I've ever seen. Like it was when we were front and center too, and the music was great. The dancing, they had every single Disney character and like rare ones that you don't normally get to see. They have a whole like story played up by the headless horseman that comes out. It's awesome. Like definitely like do yourself a favor if you can go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party because like it's only half the amount of people there. It's not that crowded. The lines are short. Like there are certain things that we did. Like we jumped right on to Splash Mountain during the fireworks. So everyone was over in front of the castle. No line. We walked right up to it. And when we were on Splash Mountain, they shot the fireworks off, and we got a really cool like high up view of the fireworks from the castle. And it's all thanks to my sister Emily. She used to work at Disney World, and she literally like planned this whole trip for us, and then showed us the best way to do it, best way to do like the Genie Plus thing that they have now, and we visited all these different resort areas and cool restaurants, and just oh man, it was really cool. I'll never go to a Disney theme park ever again without her advice and like planning. Like I'll never do it. Like I'd pay her to do it. Like she could be a planner to like make good money planning vacations. That's something she needs to do. But anyways, and if you guys want, like if you watch this and you want help planning your vacation, I'll like hook you up with her like social media. I can't give out her phone number, but her social media, maybe like she'll help you out. But why I wanted to bring it up is they have a couple of characters because during Mickey's Not So Spooky Halloween Party, they do extra things like Pirates of the Caribbean has live actors. Like sometimes I think there's a night area they actually have Johnny Depp in there, which is awesome. But they have live or like a pretty dang good lookalike too. I've heard there's some really like stunt doubles and stuff. And then you go to the Haunted Mansion and they have live actors all throughout, and they have two characters that are there right when you show up that you can talk to while you're waiting in line. They're called Renata and Madame Carlotta, which are a pair of sisters that are at Disney World during the Halloween party, and you can see them in the movie. They're actually there at one part of the movie. There's a new ghost character that they created for the movie called the Pirate Captain Gore. That's a giant pirate character that shows up for a minute. I mean, to be fair, a lot of these ghosts and stuff, you only see them like for a quick second or like a minute or two. There's a couple you see longer than that, but most of them are just quick. And then one of the spoilers that I wanted to say is we find out Owen Wilson's character isn't even a real priest. He just made that stuff up, and so he's just like playing everybody for a fool. But then by the end, he actually becomes a priest. He goes to get ordained or whatever. And I guess to cap it off, because like about 3/4 of the way through is when I kind of found myself kind of checking out slightly. I was like, all right, this movie's getting a little long-winded for me. I'm ready for it to be over now. And so they're doing a whole thing where they're having to battle all these different spirits and stuff, and they eventually like somehow get on the like this is why I say that the writing's not that great, because there's not a lot of moments from these characters or lines or things that they say that really like grab me or grab your attention. And I don't even remember exactly how they get all the ghosts on their side, but they get the ghosts on their side somehow. And I think they have some kind of banishment spell that they find out how to do. And I think Jamie Lee Curtis's character, the Madame Leota character, helps. And then they get all the ghosts to turn on the Hatbox Ghost that's played by Jared Leto, and it looks exactly like the one from the ride. The same skeleton. You can see it in the trailer when the police sketch artist does a little sketch, but I mean, it looks exactly like that, and like the skeleton with the top hat and the white hair coming out, but yeah, and so they're able to defeat him with a big scene that just reminds me of any generic kind of ending to like a supernatural movie or like a or even like a Marvel movie to an extent, like it's just like Keith Stanfield's character, and all the ground moves away, and he's standing in the middle of it, and but but then somehow he's defeated because of a spell or something. And it's pretty like anticlimactic, if you ask me. So that part could have been better. Not a great ending to the movie, I would say, except for you do see all the characters. I mean, I guess this part's kind of better. They all move into the house, of course. I mean, you kind of knew that was gonna happen, and you find out um, that like one of the spoilers I was gonna say about the Keith Stanfield's character is like never thought that he expressed enough love towards his wife or treated her the way that he really felt inside, and wished he would have treated her better. But then he found out that his wife loved him all along, and knew that he loved her and was going to be with him, and not going to leave. He was always worried she was going to leave, and that she died before he could tell him how much he truly loved her. But he realized that she knew it all along. And I think there's like, correct me if I'm wrong, some kind of manifestation of her spirit to come that comes to him to like let him know that. But I can't remember. That's the part where I was kind of checking out. I even think like 3/4 of the way I was slightly dozing off a little bit. So it's like this movie has really cool stuff in it, but at the same time, it's got like the writing could be way better. They could have had a way better release date in October. That's for sure. Thanks for pointing that one out, Dennis, in the chat. But so it's hard to know what I want to give the score for this movie. I originally had a 7.5, but you know what? The more I think about it, I'm gonna go 7. It's not quite there. It's still good though. And like Danny DeVito's, it's funny just being Danny DeVito, just like there's no real lines or anything special that he does. He's just being his goofball self. Owen Wilson's good. Lakeith Stanfield's good. They're all good. Tiffany Haddish isn't annoying, like doing like annoying, like bombastic. She ready, like doing like trying to be like a big in your face kind of character like she is in a lot of other movies, and that makes her annoying to a lot of people. I like Tiffany Haddish. I do. I think like I don't get annoyed with her as much as other people do, but she was fine in this. Even my co-host Austin, who like notoriously doesn't like Tiffany Haddish, said she was fine. She was like whatever. I don't think he loved her, but didn't like dislike her either. So and I will say that the child actor that they got for this, his name's Chase Dillon, played Travis. He's not the greatest child actor. He's kind of wooden and kind of not very good, but I can't really fault a child, you know? Like, I mean, kids will be kids, and it's just like we're getting what we get. Some child actors can really bring it. He was actually kind of like the worst actor in the whole movie, in my opinion, but he's a kid. I'm not going to hold it against him. So yeah, but he kind of has like a what you talking about Willis vibe to him. So Gary Coleman or whatever. Um but anyways, yeah, that's it on the Haunted Mansion. 7 out of 10, but a 10 out of 10 for like recreating what the ride is. And I think overall, like that's like the biggest goal of a movie like this. It's based on a ride. I mean, I think they were hoping for like a Pirates of the Caribbean that will knock it out of the park type of thing, and it didn't quite get there, but they did recreate the ride. So I kind of feel like, actually, I don't know. Like I was always gonna say, I feel like we'll see more movies based on rides, but actually, this movie's not making money. This movie's like for sure going to lose money because of that budget. So if they can do it on a lower budget, like what I'd like to see is a new Swiss Family Robinson of sorts, as long as they get good actors and good writers and don't make it cheesy and dumb. Like there's a chance. I love the OG Swiss Family Robinson, and it could be ripe for a remake. Maybe that's my next uh, idea. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other rides that could like be that cool. Space Mountain or the Matterhorn, maybe. I don't know, because a lot of rides are just based on movies that already have been made and stuff. So who knows? But anyways, so that'll wrap it up. What are your thoughts of the Haunted Mansion? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Based on my review, if you haven't seen it, are you going to rush out and see it? Is it one you've been looking forward to? I really wasn't looking forward to it until I saw the trailers. I liked the trailers. Some people didn't, but I really don't like it. It's Owen Wilson in another haunted house movie because he was in The Haunting, but it's still fun. Like I, I like the cast. I like the movie. Is it That's good. I mean, borderline great. I'll say it's in between good and great for me. So it's like, but I didn't love it. I liked it. So yeah. But will do it. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll probably have another review. I might be live with the Casablanca kid this week because I'm going to be going up to his neck of the woods in Boise, and we're going to go see the new Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And I'm sure there's going to be a review. He can't go to a movie without doing the review on the spot, live and in person. So, because he's Casablanca Kid, he's got Chris reviews, he's got all that stuff, and yeah. And then I want to try to see if we have time to see Talk to Me again because that movie rules, and I wanted to bring Chris to it. So we'll see. There may be a couple things coming this week. We got tournament fights on Tuesday. That's going to be Battle of the Toms, Tom Hanks versus Tom Cruise movies. And then our animated tournament, best animated movies of all time. That's going to tie in with our animated tier ranker. But I'm going to be out of town for that one. I might make an appearance via my phone, maybe. We'll see. I'm not going to be in a real good spot for Wi-Fi, so I won't be hosting it. It'll be Austin and Jacob Barber, essentially, running the show for that one. But it'll be a fun one because Jacob's a big animation guy, and we got some other people that are big into animation on the episode, so it'll be fun. So, but anyways, thanks again. Hang on. Let's see if I can put it up there. There it is. I've been Jordan, the movie hero Anderson, aka the Hatbox Ghost, and we will see you next time.